All right. Whose idea was it to let us call rival teams during co-op week? Come on now.
Great question. Great question.
Happy Friday evening, Saturday morning, wherever you happen to be. This is A Link to the Past Randomizer League. We are in our 5th season. We had this invitational rematch of the Bomb Squad on your left, Orange Kupo and Adirondack Rick, and Validation Chest Boots on your right, featuring Tavarius and Hexodus. I'm Zeruvian. Zeke Highwind is with me. It's Retrance Week. What do you feel about this?
I feel like I'm going to have fun calling this because I love Retrance. And I've got a good co-commentator today. We've got a pile of people I consider friends on the screen. So what's not to like?
We also have two very dedicated trackers to make sure we don't miss a darn thing in Days Cloud and Lady Laura Linda. Thank you for joining us on this fine Friday or Saturday. And, well, look at this. Yeah, 3 people doing the Houlihan, and once again, Hyrule Castle is our sanctuary spot.
Looks like Hyrule Castle had bombs in it, too.
Yes, we did have 3 bombs in Sanctuary, and this early in the seed, it's really nice to just have that extra bit of resource. We see Tavarius is going to check out some of these tier pulls right now. Looks like tier 1 is just hearts tonight. And Rick and Orange going to go ahead and split this off a little bit. We saw Ganon's just sitting at the useless ferry.
And we've got Ice Palace inside the Witch's Hut today.
Now, what Tavarius can do with those 3 bombs is just drop into the back of Escape and be A-okay with it. And hopefully there's something nice back there, or else we'll be having to hoof it somewhere else to find some progression early on here. I know it's the first minute, but you'd still like to see some kind of indicator of life. And now Rick is going to get that information. How about a shovel in the back of Escape?
Shovels are good. I can dig it.
Oof. All right. So for a moment, let's talk about a couple things. One, let's talk about co-op Retrance. We got 4 players here, 2 for each team. They are talking. They are sharing information. They are possibly sharing a tracker, but they cannot see what the other one is doing.
Hence why they have to be talking and be sharing all this information.
So that is... go on.
I missed that key shop, for the record.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice thing to find this early as a key shop. You like being able to, spend the money to buy keys on a whim. And there's your mountain spawn just sitting on the North Shore, too.
That's... Okay, this is unfortunate spawn locations.
Oh yeah, this is not a good seed for getting around by spawns at all.
This is the seed where you want to find the early boots. Regardless of your thoughts on having boots and cross keys, this is a seed you want them.
No, I'm going to parlay with you that I would rather have a flute than boots in this situation.
I accept that argument.
Alright, Rick now has the information of that shovel. So, since we're seeing exactly what you expect, with 4 players doing 4 completely different things, running around in what is a retro cross keys type of situation. So it's a retro world state. You see we don't have arrows on our indicator HUD up above. You do have keys everywhere, because the keys are universal. And you'll have to buy your arrows from aforementioned key shop that we just saw a couple moments ago. In addition to it just being good old cross keys.
And we have a backup mountain spawn at dark shopping.
Ooh, that's rough, I think is the word I would use for this.
The spawns are kind of terrible. I cannot tell if that's a 100 or a 300, but we want that anyways. The answer is that was a 100.
Even if it's a 50, I think early on you just want that extra cash just in case you end up finding a Palace of Darkness. Because that's one of the things that the retro part of this mode does, is instead of requiring you to find small keys to every dungeon, the game just kind of assumes because you have the means to get all the rupees ever, you can also get all the keys ever, so there is no small key logic.
There is the flute. There's a flute in the floodgate at the Brothers' right entrance. As you were saying, we want that flute with this spawn location pile.
Yeah, with the mountain spawns being next to Link's house, which is next to Sanctuary, in the back of Mountain Spawn being in the Dark World proper, that flute is going to be really nice. And also, it opens up a bunch more for us as well.
It's also one of the worst possible locations in the Dark World to have a spawn point. Let's be honest here.
Oh, absolutely. Unless you're really good at fake flippering the bombing birds, I guess, is the biggest thing I'd worry about there.
The zeros, I think we call them. And Orange just wants everything.
Yeah, bombs, arrows, and an extra key, because you never know when that key might come in handy. We are going to see all sorts of stuff here in Kakariko Village now. And Orange, I would imagine, is going to go pick up his flute. And
the flute is kind of important in this seat.
Yeah, the flute doesn't just give us the real means of getting around. It also gives you the access to the mountain, possible access to the mire area after a pair of sets of gloves later on. The flute is going to speed up the exploration on this sea dramatically.
We are getting a convenient time of nothing new being checked outside of the bottom half of our screen, which makes it easier on our part. We did find a second sword.
That we did. Little offense boost early on is very nice to have. We also have the west side of desert, and Tiberius has gone in.
One was something you like to find early with like 1 or 2 keys on hand, because you don't need to spend all your keys.
And Rick, also seeing it, says, no thanks, I'll think about it, and then he will not take this step into desert right now. Might be leaving it for Orange to do.
Quite possibly. It is something where you want to keep checking the items here in Kakariko Village, because it's kind of a dense location. And that's a good pickup for Rick, who hasn't had a chance to buy bombs yet.
That's another something that we'll see here as Hexodus is located and is now going through Thieves Town. We also saw very early Granon's Tower Big Key. Now, we have seen Ganon already at the Useless Fairy location, but we haven't seen where any of the rest of our drop-downs are as of yet. So it could very well be a well behind the tower.
I think the only drop-downs we know are Sank and Ganon.
That sounds about right.
And Rick is about to show us where... what's here behind the hammer, and that is Lumberjack Cave, and that's a bottle. And Desert East goes to Upgraded Island.
Not exactly ideal, but at least you know you don't have to fake flipper to check that entrance at any point here. Oh, speaking of, you remember what I was mentioning just before?
Yes, I do.
The knowledge of finding a key shop, and now we got all kinds of stuff going on here. Hexodus, I don't believe, found anything in Thieves Town, but Tiberius has found the east side of Death Mountain.
Orange is going to take advantage of the fact that we've played this game long enough. That's a Moon Pearl and Pod Shooter room. We've played this long enough, we know that how to get through these dark rooms.
Yeah, Daze Cloud is confirming for us that that is an empty Thieves Town that Hexodus just dove through. And Tiberius finding a connection that went to the Mimic Cave. Unfortunately, not much doing there. Now, that Moon Pearl early on is going to make going through connections a little sweeter. As Orange taking an unfortunate death in the Castle Dark Maze here.
That's all that said, getting unlucky with the guards a little bit does mean you can easily take all 6 hits you'd need to die there. And that's a Turtle Big Key. And we are in 4 different dungeons right now.
Yeah, I did not see where Tiberius found Hyrule Castle. But we know it's something that we can actually go through, and that is a glove which is a pretty good find for Validation Chest Boots, and that's a
That's
sword in the Dark Maze of Castle Tower, which is going to make combat quite trivial on this seed.
And it looks like Rick may be giving us a Mimic Clip. Or trying to, anyways.
Sometimes
It's
the
a
Mimic
lot
just
of one-frame
doesn't wanna
inputs here.
Get the big key to Skull Woods. We also saw the big key of Turtle Rock. Yeah, Orange now going to step in here, probably grab his Moon Pearl, and unless something else gives, might bail out. And setting up the Death Warp, too. Hexadus deciding to go swimming here. So we'll get a look at some of the checks blocked by Flippers and Logic.
Come on, Rick. You can do it.
And that is 2 gloves in Hyrule Castle.
Really?
Yes, it is. That is Natural Dark World access for Validation Chest Boots, provided one of them goes into pod. Oh boy, that's some mitts. Got flute and mitts already, Zeke. Now all you had was the mirror.
And Rick is going to, unfortunately, not be able to get that Mimic Clip, so takes Death Warp off the Mimic and leaves. Which, honestly, I don't blame. You don't want to overdo yourself and take too much time, end up losing the...
That is a very wet floor in that Tower of Hera. So that's another dungeon that we found here.
For a moment, I was trying to figure out how Hexus was swimming in Tower of Hera.
All right, so Rick opting to forgo the bow side of Palace of Darkness for now. He's going to have a look at what's going on in the back. Orange is going to take over exploring the rest of Kakariko, and we need to figure out where the main entrance to Hyrule Castle is, or else we're not going to see a glove for a little while until we end up on the mountain. There's the big key to Desert Palace that actually might send Bomb Squad in the right direction here. And a big thank you to those of you joining us here on SpeedGaming 4. Thank you, SpeedGaming 3, for the raid that you are watching this co-op Retrance second game between the Bomb Squad and Validation Chest Boots.
If I remember correctly, Validation Chest Boots took game 1, but so Bomb Squad wants revenge.
Bomb Squad not just wanting revenge. This is a very untidy bottom of this division, the Lost Woods division. Lots of teams sitting at 6 or 12 points or somewhere in between there right now. So every win at this midpoint stage of this league is pivotal. And you bet the Bomb Squad are feeling the heat right now with only 2 wins at this point. Oh, that's a lamp. My goodness. Unfortunately, Rick not getting this Hammer Yump either is going to take the save and quit out of Palace of Darkness and wonder where we're headed.
It looks a lot like he had a messed up altitude variable, probably from a drop from that mini Helma. And Tiberius is about to get that Moon Pearl.
Huge information for Validation Chest Boots. They found both gloves, now they have a Merle. And I don't know if Rick ever activated his flute. Because he was walking the long way back to Kakariko, and that is a long trek.
And behind Castle Tower today is Uncle. So, hey, you know that sword we just picked up that Orange went in for?
Yeah, you won't be seeing anything of Castle Tower after that sword.
So for those of you who like the Aga 1 fight, I'm sorry, we're not going to see it today.
You might not see Agadim at all, outside of the intro credits, that is. Alright, so we do have Tiberius now poking through Kakariko with Hexadus. I believe they're about to actually cross paths here. And we've got...
Johnny Two Bombs.
Is it hype? Is it fake? Well, right now, it's a whole lot of nothing so far. Oh, well, that's something. Hey, the best item in the Hype Cave is a red boomerang. Why do we call it the Hype Cave? Just call it what it is. The boomerang and 45 rupees cave.
Actually, best item in the cave was the heart container. Oh no, there's useless fairy. So something is guaranteed to be in that pyramid now.
Yeah, whether it's the magic bat, 1 item, or 5 items is yet to be determined.
And Tiberius is our first runner to the Dark World.
I mean, he's our first runner with confirmed access to the Dark World. We don't even know if a connection leads us there outside of the mountain spawn. We did see that Orange picked up a lamp, by the way, so we do have that available to us as well, which opens every dark room in Logic.
So what you're saying is we're 15 minutes in, all 3 of our swords are in Logic. And the other sword we don't have is just to take any sword that gets put into the retro pool.
Which might be why you'll see Rick probably not in a hurry to go digging around in Dark Castle Tower, as he has fluted away to 8. We'll see the shopping mall from Adirondack Rick, and Orange, having a look at the desert, is now going to flute to 7 and probably do bits of South Shore, maybe some fake flippering. Hard to say. That Desert Big Key, honestly, would probably put me going through Desert at the very least to check what the items are that you can access, and maybe have a gander at the exits. And, unfortunately, that's the wrong blue item for Rick, so...
Unfortunately. Hexus is digging out Skullwoods. And I believe we saw an actually acceptable layout. And was that a magic drop stun prize?
Alright, Adirondack Rick is now in the desert. What do we got?
We got Orange doing a lamp bomb jump sequence break.
Whoa. I mean, he does have the Tempered Sword, so this is... I mean, he's got Tempered Sword, he's got Ether, he's got... This is
spicy.
A little bit. This is going to be a very early dungeon cleared for the Bomb Squad here. And it's... This will be, what, a 2-heart moth fight? Oh boy, that's... You walk in Oko.
3. There is that heart refill pot up in the top left.
That's true, that's true. Tavarius locating Eastern Palace over here. I believe this was probably the Dark Lumberjack area. So we'll be seeing some checks that a lot of runners might just turn their nose up at, but in co-op, you almost feel inclined to have to.
A little bit, but... Oh boy. Oh!
Oh, that
just
was...
stuck between a spike and a fireball.
Yeah, it was 3 really quick shots from Orange. I thought it was going to be in the bag, and then the spikes came out and said, heck no. And he is going back for more. Yeah, Rick goes out the east side of Desert Palace and sees that he's on the island, so this is actually his ticket to finding the east side of Death Mountain, I believe, is what we saw there.
I believe so.
Exodus whistling the flute into action here. Tavarius is going to give us the remainder of the couple checks that we have available in our Eastern Palace at this juncture.
Rick's thinking about it.
I believe this is the connection that puts you out at Mimic. It is.
So, a good one to know about, because... Although I believe you and I have a phrase for what happens when you get spit out at Mimic Cave, right? Like that.
Yeah, I believe one of the ways that I like to say the most powerful item in crossed entrances is probably the mirror. The last thing you want to have the seed give you with some of your entrances is devaluing the mirror. That makes the
Moth
fewer
is
mirror
great.
checks actually... Oh, this moth is... Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, ho, ho.
And he got it!
Orange victorious. Rick finding Hyrule Castle. And he's just gonna step out for a moment.
green
Moth
pendant!
is the green pendant.
Honestly, having the green pendant is better than not.
That was 100% clutch by Orange.
Meanwhile, we didn't find anything in Eastern Palace.
And Rick is taking the dive into Hyrule Castle, so in just a few short moments, the bomb squad will know that they have very early mitts. I mean very early. I believe these are new checks from Orange going up the mountain proper.
I believe so, yes. I think he's the first one to flute 1.
So we are going to see now whether or not there's another way to get over to that mountain, or if Orange is going to have to dive through desert. Now here is our Mountain Man rescue cave. This fair old lad just gets lost in this cave every single time.
Which is really impressive. It's not that complicated a cave layout.
I'm more worried that he's going to have a sense of vertigo from how frequently the cave changes locations.
Maybe that's why he's always lost.
So that's going to be a lamp for Tiberius in this drop down here. We still haven't seen the well, I don't believe.
I don't believe so. I think we're running out of drop-downs.
And there's the knowledge of the mitts for the bomb squad. And Rick setting up his death warp here.
Tiberius is probably going to check out North Light World for us with the gloves. Can check out Death Mountain Ascent Cave. Can check out Sanctuary Drop.
Yeah, and at this point, with everything else you've seen, you just drop right in, because that could very well be your well. And we have found Village of Outcasts at the Hyrule Castle main entrance. I don't believe we saw Validation Chest Boots step out here.
It's not the most important connector knowledge.
No, it is not, but it is nice to know where it is, because it does give you one less entrance to have to walk into.
Spiral Cave has decided to move to the other side of the mountain.
And at 22 minutes, Rick finally has more than 3 hearts.
Hooray! Can we get to Tiberius a heart next?
I mean, I would certainly hope so. So apparently we have no love for East Death Mountain right now. We have gone through Hyrule Castle 3 separate times. Maybe Haxidus will give us what we're missing here. We have 2 entrances that we still haven't hit. We're just pulling out the flute. I guess Spiral Cave exit and Middle Paradox don't mean anything to our runners today. Hopefully that's not the case. I don't think we've seen... If we've seen them, then they were so fast that, you know, they were probably just step in, cry, step back out. I know we saw the tavern somewhere. I don't remember where. So that could have been one of them.
If we seem lost, don't worry. We are. Do you see how many people are on the screen going in different directions? Orange has taken that Spiral Cave exit to end up on Dark Death Mountain Summit.
Oh, and look at what he's found in the top of Super Bunny Cave.
A cave full of wiggling, wonderful moldworms.
A cave full of nice boomerang heart dupe. A cave full of rather irritating moldworms. And do we have anything else in the treasures up here on the mountain? A pair of keys. That, my friends,
my cane.
Is the cane of Samaria. Zeke can walk now.
I want that back.
Well, what'd you do leaving it in the cave?
That guy's clearly a thief. Look at his sprite. He stole it from me.
Speaking of things that you can steal, this poor frog is on an adventure here. And we have
there's gonna
found
be-
Ganon's Tower. And nothing in these first two checks. But still one more item we can peek at. And now that we know that the Cane of Samaria is just available, that is another check we can see our runners potentially undertake.
And we found Bombos medallion. No, was that Bombos or Quaken? There, it might have been Quake. Which, if it's
Was
Quake, it's the
absolutely
access for Turtle
fake.
Rock.
And I don't think Rick had the keys to actually check everything.
That could be unfortunate later.
It all depends on where our hammer happens to turn up. So you see where that smith house is that Tiberius is currently walking out of?
Yep.
That is where Orange has to return the smith.
And by orange, you mean Rick.
I do mean Rick. Well, I'm watching Orange walk into Desert because he's the one who has to go get his gloves, but he's also the one that has the Cane of Samaria. And we are going to see some more new information from Tiberius. We're going to check out these few entrances in the Maya region, although Tiberius does not appear to have any medallions? Question mark? At least they're not lit on his tracker.
It's still entrances, and Hexus gets us our Mimic Clip.
So new checks from Palace of Darkness for Hexodus. It is Bombos to enter Maya's entrance, and we do not know where that is just yet.
And it was a small key and half magic, so nothing pressing left on right side pod.
That half magic is a nice little upgrade from not having much, though. And would you look at what is sitting at the bomb shop is the bottom of Paradox Cave's interior. So one way from the other side, unless we can break it with a mirror.
And now Rick is going to show us Brothers Connector. And Tiberius is looking for anything to find here in the Maya region.
Ooh, unfortunate.
At least he can flute the Smith home now.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do in this situation, is just go to 8, turn back the Smith, and from there, you've got a few things you could do still. Have any of our runners actually been to Skull Woods yet? Yeah,
Hexus was in the front of Skullwoods.
Actually, that was Tiberius, because Hex only just recently got his gloves.
Yeah. You're right. Tiberius did the front of Skullwoods. Validation Chest Boots did the front of Skullwoods.
That's fair. Alright, so Orange going straight down to grab his mitts. And that is our first available bottle that we've seen once already. The Super Bunny for Tiberius. We don't know where this goes either. That's another big key. That one is Misery Meyer's big key. A dungeon we can't touch, but can now complete.
I don't want to fight Vitreous on this loadout.
You don't want to fight Vitreous with a tempered sword? Why not?
I don't want to fight. Have to get absolutely one shot.
So that Super Bunny spat out on DR Ledge.
Oh.
And
That's
Tiberius
a
is
one-way.
kind of stuck up here now, so he's going to go ahead and save and quit. And we didn't see these checks from the bomb squad. Hexodus making his way into Dark Maze at Palace of Darkness. And one check is a whole bunch of nothing.
What about the other?
Probably a little bit of nothing.
Some blueberries.
Seems wonderful. So nothing doing here. So my question is, where's our progression?
Tile room.
I like this from Orange. Orange is going to take the back connection of the old man cave and end up in Dark Shopping Mall, which is now 2 entrances we can do that we could not do previously.
One of which, we know one of them is Chicken House.
That's an item That's this entrance we couldn't touch before. And from here, you can actually break around AGA 1's requirement, or the flippers or hammer, whatever happens to be requirement. And we can actually we can break around the flippers requirement for that Tower of Hera as well, based on where it is with the Moon Pearl. So that's a pretty good find as well. And Rick now having a gander at the mire area for himself, and Orange deciding that he didn't feel like going swimming today. So very quietly we have things just kind of coming up here and there, but not really anything game-breaking just yet. The mitts being the most important thing I think we found, along with that flute, and the Cane of Samaria in the hands of one Orange. And thus far, that has been it. Here's that connector for Adirondack Rick. He's going to find the TR ledge, which, you know, again, will cause him to be one-wayed out of the Mire region, which was itself a one-way anyway. Not having a mirror.
Is a one-way plus a one-way a two-way?
No, sir, it's parallel roads.
And Orange is going to take a gander at the front of Skull Woods.
Meanwhile, Hexadus doing the North Dark World. I don't know if have we seen Dark Chapel yet? Possibly.
Possibly.
From what I've seen, I'm remembering only bits and pieces of what each runner has done in the respective regions, which is part of the pains of watching 4 screens at once. But I also don't remember seeing like any cohesive...
So, there's this famous runner named Kern. And one of his biggest routing implements that was made was this little sequence break here.
And unfortunately, Hexadus was not able to get his Kern bomb jump on one try, and only having 1 heart left, is forced to save and quit.
And Hexus is going to take a trip up Death Mountain now.
To answer a concern in chat, in order for the green pendant to be our progression, the game would have to give us a fire rod to make Mothula available.
I'm not a fan of the idea of purple chest for progression, but it's looking kind of likely.
It could be that.
What cave is Rick navigating?
I believe he is rescuing the old man sans the lamp. And as I alluded to earlier but didn't outright say, chat is reminding us, East Dark World is in logic through Castle Tower.
We pretend that doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, you don't just pretend that doesn't exist. You can literally break around a Castle Tower requirement based on where the back of your mountain spawn is on this seed. All it takes is a very, very bold fake flipper or the knowledge of how to raft jump into the pod area. A classic cross keys maneuver. And chat, we have seen Castle Tower. It was in Kakariko, if I recall correctly. I do not remember exactly where.
Kakariko money-making game.
Aha! Exodus has picked up some extra hearts and maximum bombs.
I mean, you find it, sometimes it's worth taking it. I'm trying to remember where Spiral went, that Orange went.
This is what took you to Floating Island. Or, not Floating Island.
Right.
Was this Floating Island?
Yes, Floating Island.
Yes, Floating Island? Did we see the Hookshot Cave entrance? No, it was Hookshot Cave.
It was the Hookshot Cave. Oh, it was Hookshot Cave entrance. We haven't seen Floating Island.
That is correct. So that means Rick is going to pick up his
No!
Death Warp. No! That is a big feels bad, because that is a long walk. Of course, Validation Chest Boots still has not found that Kingdom Samaria. So this is still time that the Bomb Squad has to give up for that particular item, but the more information compiled in general, the less chance that going out of your way for that item and having a setback such as a death will actually work out in your favor long run. Tiberius back into the Dark World. Let's see what he's got in mind, as I believe Hexodus and Rick, I think, have the same idea right now.
Hexus is still checking the mountain.
Okay. Alright, this is a purple chest play for Tiberius, so this could very well be something that we need.
I really hope not.
I mean, I'm...
Nothing against purple chest, against validation chest boost, but purple chest without a mirror sucks.
I mean, that's all the more reason why, if you have the ability and one player not doing anything because the other player's already checking the last region you have, I think you just do it here.
And survey says...
This is not it. Which doesn't leave us very many options here.
Yeah, there is. At the moment, we just have to cross Lionel Bridge to get back over there. Rick. No! Rick is not having a good day with these guys.
I'm telling you, these mini Moldworms are out for more blood than usual. And they are definitely not the the fun-loving kind. There's your floating island. Where was that through for Tiberius?
I don't know. I was watching Rick.
And now he has knowledge of Spiral Exit. So,
well, also
nice inter-door high five for Validation Chest Boots. Okay, so I'm not crazy. We have seen Floating Island. It was through Fairy Ascension Cave. Does the Bomb Squad know where the Fairy Ascension connector is?
I don't know where the Fairy Ascension connector is.
I mean... we are going to finally check this back of escape drop down here for Adirondack Rick. And, it is the Magic Bat. We have a well behind Ganon's Tower. We have the Ganon's Tower big key.
We just need two things. Okay, we need one thing, and it thinks we need one thing.
So we need the hookshot, and it thinks we need a bow. You're just not going to let me have that one, are you?
I'm just staring at this going, where's our progression? Because it has to be on Dark Death Mountain right now, doesn't it?
It's still GT Tile Room. It could still very well be one item in GT Tile Room. That item could be the hookshot. That item could be the hammer. The item could be the mirror. The item could be the bow to have to climb Ganon's Tower.
Without a hookshot.
At the top of Ganon's Tower.
No. Stop it.
No, bad. And Orange now going for this current jump. And Hexodus is setting up for this fake flipper. See, I'm telling you, it's probably something here in East Dark World.
Almost definitely. Runners don't fail logic breaks to get here if it's not a required progression.
Oh, Hexodus got
hit. No.
And he is off the screen that he came into the water on and has to save and quit. Ugh. You hate to see it. I still kind of wish that you just plain died when you got hit in the water instead of having to... It's more punishing this way.
The mini Moldorms are dead.
And Adirondack Rick will savor sweet, sweet victory and the taste of one candy cane.
Candy cane.
Please do not consume the cane of Samaria.
Please do not. Hey, tile room.
Yeah, that would have to be... It's one of the last logical things we have left. This could actually just be Fire Rod, you know?
Technically, Ruby, we have mentioned, Orange is in logic right now. It's just his access is not.
That is correct. This is potentially a required Aghanim seed.
Required
you're
in
not
a
going
large
to...
pile of air quotes.
Actually, it's not tile room. Oh, Tiverius, what are you doing? Ty? Are you sure? You're not surprised?
No. Now...
Hey, dude, the bootsless... You don't have the HP.
Ty, you don't have the HP.
You have one heart. Like, actually, you're gonna die just trying to kill these berries. Probably.
Pyramid Ledge. Top left. Dark Death Mountain. Bottom left.
A compass on the pyramid. Tiberius,
A sword.
You are dead.
That's a taking sword at Spike Cave.
That is a take any sword at Spike Cave. That is tempered for Rick, and a check that Orange is probably not going to do.
The only way Orange gets that sword, I think, is if there's a dungeon here.
And there is the hammer. Oh boy, that is the hammer. Blocked by Aghanim is almost definitely our progression here. That's also knowledge of Sahasrara for Adirondack Rick, which means we can turn in that green pendant at some point.
So, Sahasrara tells you what the green pendant is if you don't have the green pendant, correct?
Yes.
What's our green pendant in the seed?
It is Skull Woods.
There was a map at the back of Sahasrara.
It's the map to Skull Woods.
Uh-huh.
Seed has jokes, man.
Anyways, so Hammer. What does Hammer open?
I don't know. You should ask him sometime. Hey, there's the back of desert. We have the big key. We're gonna do it. Hammer opens up, actually, a few things. Provided Flippers somewhere, the hammer actually gives us the ability to do Swamp Palace without the hookshot. They also have the ability now to go into Ice Palace with no fire source. This hammer's really not seeming that great right now, is it? And what was the entry requirement for Turtle Rock? Was it Quake?
Quake.
We do have the Hammer Peg location and the Hammer House. That's two entrances the hammer gives us. Otherwise, right now with our current item set, there's not a ton here. We have a TR entry. No, we didn't. So if that is a TR West that we are only just seeing, that is a Turtle Rock we can go all the way through. Anyway, a Lammo fight for Orange. Orange is taking the lead in just clearing dungeons again, as we saw yesterday. We are going to just mark this Desert Palace as done, because honestly, it's done. Tempered Sword just makes no problem at all for this Lamolus.
And it is a crystal. So there's our first crystal on the board for either team. In this case, the Bomb Squad.
Alrighty, and that is knowledge for Rick as well, that he's going to have to make his way over to fight Lamolus at Dark Flute Point 5, which is now very easy to get to once you have your hammer.
Honestly, you still probably walk over there because you're like 2 screen transitions away.
Yeah, a little bit. Not exactly the ideal circumstance here is the word I would use. So, let's talk about what we know. We've seen Tower of Hera. We've seen Tower of Hera Big Key. Hera itself is blocked by Flippers, but we can still see our runners go ahead and take care of it.
Hex just finally picks up his Master Sword.
Oh my goodness. How long have we known about that sword? Is this a hit? He's been floating in and out of
35 minutes.
Alright, so the Bomb Squad, both players have their hammer now. This is just the Shrine to Helmasaur King at Palace of Darkness. We haven't seen anybody go to Zora with the money to pay Zora either, I don't think. So that's been a check that's been in logic since Hyrule Castle. Honestly, this feels really narrow right now.
Hexus and Tiverius do not have access to the hammer, have not made it to their hammer yet, but they are the ones with the Quake from Palace of Darkness.
Right, that Quake.
Orange and Rick have a hammer.
Alright, so we're going to see a run through Turtle Rock. And the question here is, do you go to the front and go out the front, or do you go down to Laser Bridge? Because we actually have the means to do that, except that Orange is not a player for the Bomb Squad with the TR Big Key. So, forget that.
Rick is giving us the Hammer House. And he's going to leave and give us Hammer Pegs instead.
Yes, because that is the rescue for the Mountain Man, and we have already done that.
Reminder to everybody, Ether works on the Pokies.
Yes, but it does not work on the flying Stalfos heads, so keep that in mind, because on Green Mail they do 3 hearts of damage, and that is a lot of hurt. And that is some powder. We do know of the Magic Bat being at Sanctuary, so maybe something else our runners may be required to do.
Actually, I do believe Ether works, but only does damage, not freezes. Correct. I think you can kill them with 2 Ethers.
That would be the case here. Rick is going to pick up his purple chest, and I would imagine we see a save and quit here. We do.
Dancing with Chain Chomps.
Not my favorite type of reality TV show.
And Tiverius is killing Agath for East Dark World.
Yeah, in a way, I think we've determined between all 4 runners, I'm pretty sure at this juncture they know it's an Aga seed. And Tiverius is actually going to give us the Aga as opposed to, well, the alternative here being one of the multiple dangerous swims, I guess is the phrase I would use here.
I mean, it took how long for us to be able to get across that river on either side? We had a fake flipper death, and we had a current jump death.
Rick is going to peruse these front 4 checks of Thieves Town. Orange, unfortunately, has found the exit of Laser Bridge, where the exit of Laser Bridge happens to be the front of Turtle Rock today.
That's a little funny.
It's a little not, really. So we do have a hammer and a glove. We can enter the Dark World from either place at this point.
Given our money situation, I wonder if this is an Ice Plus entrance play. Because the Ice Palace entrance is logical. Because that's Desert on Upgrade Island. That is tragic.
So we are aware that the stream is currently frozen on the Twitch side. We are still seeing some game feed, so we'll try to walk you through what we see. Adirondack Rick has taken a bottle to the lazy kid and has received only a kiss in return. And Orange now is trying to set up a fake flipper from north of the potion shop. I feel like we did this about 48 minutes ago. Meanwhile, you have Tiberius now going through the west side of Turtle Rock. He also does not have the big key, so he's going to suffer the same fate that Orange did when he gets to the front. Hexadus making his way to the North Dark Shore.
One moment.
So what I'm feeling here is with that Turtle Rock big key known, the game is probably throwing something on Laser Bridge. That's my theory.
I would agree.
Especially since, you've got Kane, you've got Lamp, you've got the big key. We've got plenty of things not to see. Okay, we've got some movement. Exodus has apparently succeeded a current jump and has picked up the camera. Cool. And Furious has made it to the front of Turtle Rock, so he has just the map chest left on the left side here, and we'll walk out to Laser Bridge. Meanwhile, for Orange and Rick, you have Rick doing a flute to 3, and Orange is back up on the mountain with the Queen of Berna in there. And again, do bear with us, as technical issues are in fact quite technical. We are currently in the dark, so let's speculate just a little bit about what we've seen so far on this seed. Plenty to look at. Actually, we have a Hexadus and Spike Cave as it comes back up here, so, okay.
Okay, I kind of wish we had visuals of what's in Spike Cave right now. What about you, Roof?
Spike Cave being one of those places that you really don't want to see. Actually, Rick is about to get his last sword, so he's going to have a gold sword, Rick. And Orange is in the back of Saha's closet, so we've probably seen the green pendant turn it and just don't know what it is yet. Okay.
Axis is moving. Alright, what is in Spike Cave?
It's
That's Bo!
Oh no.
Oh no!
Where's the Spike Cave at? Oh boy. Okay, so that's interesting because you know what that does, right?
Unfortunately, I do.
You do a hookless climb of Ganon's tower, everybody! Oh, hopefully not. We don't know what else we have possibly seen here, and that hammer still, I guess, looms a little bit for what we could possibly have a gander at. Orange has gone back into pod. That bow is out of logic, question mark. How so?
The bow shouldn't be out of logic.
Bow is very in logic. Presently, with the Cane of Burna, which is not marked on Hex's tracker.
Yeah.
We see that both Orange and Hex have it. Both Orange and Hex have it. They both used it to some degree. So that means that is an in-logic Spike Cave. And that is probably our first logical bow in Spike Cave, regardless of any other circumstances. Now, I'll tell you what is not in logic, and that's the Tower of Hera play we are seeing Hexadus make right now. That is behind the flippers in logic.
That floor is very much, liquid right now.
Alright, that is a Desert Palace Crystal pickup for Tiberius, whom will also have the knowledge that you don't need anything on the first floor of Tower of Hera when you come up here. And Orange is going to go ahead and get this Mimic Clip taken care of, as we see that Mimic going one tile at a time into the wall. Then Orange says, never mind, I am done attempting this, and he's going to take the Death Warp.
Again, I do not blame anybody for giving up on Mimic Clip when you're not getting it. That's Pendant Mire. That's Red Crystal Ice Palace.
Pendant Mire, that we can't get into anyway. Red Crystal Ice Palace, on the other hand, I would say it's spicy, but we can't get into that either. And we remember Ice Palace is sitting at the Witch's Hut, so it's very easy to get to once you find some kind of fire weapon. Here's the play we're waiting for. Rick has entered Turtle Rock from the western entrance, and he is probably going to go down to Laser Bridge. Because at this point, why would you not?
I mean, he's killing the Pokies, so I hope he's going to Laser Bridge. Except this Medusa statue is absolutely evil.
I mean, it's called Medusa for a reason. Alright, so that is going to be another boss down for Hexadus. Never mind, I jinxed it. Calm Curse, everybody! You can't see it, but Hex just got bumped off by Moldorm.
Moldorm 1, Validation Chest Boots 0.
Alright, while we do try to figure out what's going on with the stream in the background, do hang with us. Again, you were watching the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Or attempting to, anyway. So
you are listening